Welcome back to Tomb Runners right now. And the Johnny Somali situation. Johnny Somali has went to court about maybe last week, and it was supposed to just be a little small change of a couple of items, but the judge ended up, holding trial, and he ended up making closing statements, and it looks like it's coming to an end. The prosecution recommended 3 years. He'd be a sex offender with labor. And so Johnny Somali started this thing almost, he's been in Korea for a year and a half waiting for trial. So 3 months, almost 2 years. He was there for like 3 months on a visa, causing havoc, wouldn't learn from his past mistakes. He effed around and found out. They put him in jail. They held him. Uh, they held him. He couldn't. He couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't work. He just had to stay in Korea, and he hasn't learned his lesson. And he finally apologized in the court, but after almost a year and a half of just causing havoc and just being a nuisance. He's a nuisance string with just being a nuisance, and he's about to get he's probably going to get sentenced to at least 2 years, maybe the whole 3 years that they're requesting for. And he already sat in Korea for a year and a half. So basically, it can either be almost be like 5 years or 4.5, because a year and a half plus 3 years could be almost 5 years, because he wouldn't apologize and he tried to be a nuisance to make money in Korea when he already did this in Japan and got put to jail for a couple of weeks in Japan, I think maybe a month, and he tried it again. So we don't have, you're a black man, you stand out. I think his parents, he's not Somalian, but I think he's Ethiopian or something, his parents, and they were in Arizona, and he had a chance to be a positive person to society. He became to be a negative person, to be a nuisance, and didn't understand that you can't do everything everybody does. I mean, you have to, we will, we know that you have to be at a different level. You're always going to have to prove yourself. People have opinions of you, and if you go into a new place, people have open-sided, and when you act foolish and stupid in front of people, they're going to assume the worst. I said that you could have made them assume the best, but he wasn't out for that. He was out for this negative thing. He has no control of his drinking. He's just not a serious person. And he's about to get some serious consequences because he's not a serious person. So, the court trial, he's supposed to be getting, I think it's April the 15th. He wanted a speedy result, but they're making him wait. They're playing with him. Because he's like he's trapped. He's trapped, and he went over there and he got himself trapped. I mean, you going over a foreign country, you should be on your best behavior. He's on his worst behavior. He's trapped, and they're gonna make him wait. And there's gonna be an announcement on April the 15th, whether he gets to 3 years, a year and a half. I mean, it's possible they get less than that, but he's already been stuck in Korea for a year and a half, and it's probably and then 3 months before that, so it was probably 8 months, a year, and probably a year and 8 months altogether. So, when you travel is a privilege, and when we go places, you should act like it's a privilege and be respectful, and just don't be respectful, and have a good time, and don't annoy people. People don't want to be annoyed, and those antics that he did and the people around him just wasn't a very positive for anybody, and just being negative and just going over there being negative and trying to get money for that. And he was getting money for that. And he wasn't smart enough to know that you can't do this forever. You're going to have to move around. And just bad timing, because all of these nuisance streamers are getting, pressed. It used to be with the time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 8, 6 years, people wasn't on the internet like they are now. People wasn't watching things like that. People weren't saving these things. Now all this stuff is getting saved and getting watched and getting reported. So you just can't do what you used to do. You're going to have to evolve. If you want to be a streamer and stuff like that, you're going to have to change the game. You're going to have to do different things to make people want to watch you. And, these countries are going to push back on you. Right now, if you're doing things and they got it on film, if you're committing crimes on film, they have the evidence so they can prosecute you. So peace out. Come back probably around April the 15th. But yeah, he looks bad. It looks bad for him. But he was doing bad things, and he got bad consequences. So remember, travel smart, travel safe, enjoy your life. Peace. Tomb Runners, Roy Nell.